Hi, Rebecca. How you doing today?
I'm doing okay.
Doing okay?
Yep.
What's been going on?
Well, nothing too bad. I kind of got in a little bit of a bender accident.
A car accident?
Yeah.
Yeah, what happened?
Well, we were at a stop sign, and well, it was actually a red light, and there was one car here, another car here, and then I was here, and the car was coming up behind me,
Mm-hmm.
and then they hit me, and then I hit the car in front of me.
Oh.
Yeah.
You okay?
I kind of, just the usual.
Rock back and forth?
Yeah. Yeah.
But other than that, you're okay? No.
I got a couple, little bruises from hitting the steering wheel. I'm yeah, but I'm okay. My body's okay.
So physically, you feel okay?
Yeah.
Were you checked out by your physician and everything?
Yeah, everything's okay there. I didn't break anything or pull anything or anything.
All right. How about emotionally?
It's been kind of hard to get in my car again afterwards. I've still been going to work and everything, but I realized last night, my boyfriend was like, "Oh, do you want to go on a trip this weekend?" And I was kind of no, maybe not. I'm kind of hesitant to get back in the car.
So when he said that about the trip, what was the thought that came in your mind?
I'm gonna get hurt.
So it was really all about the car.
Yeah.
It wasn't anything else about the trip.
No, it was being in the car, driving the car. Yeah.
And your thought was you're going to get hurt.
Yeah. I'm gonna get hit. I'm gonna get hurt. Yeah.
Yeah. Any other areas? So it disrupted that trip.
Yeah.
So you normally would have went on a
Oh,
trip.
definitely.
Okay.
I would have been really excited about it. But now I'm just no, I don't. No. Or even coming here, I was well, maybe I can reschedule. I was just oh, I don't want to drive. I don't want to be behind the wheel. I don't want to drive. And when I did drive, I was fine coming. I drove the way I normally do, but I was a little bit more aware. But I wasn't driving extra slow. I wasn't driving extra fast or anything. But I was checking a lot more. But very nervous. Very.
Much more nervous than usual?
Yes.
Yeah. How did you feel about driving cars prior to this accident?
Oh, it's fine. I mean, whenever my friends and I would go anywhere, I would always volunteer to drive. I enjoy driving. I like listening to the radio. I liked my family and I always went on trips. And as soon as I turned 16, I always had a turn. I enjoyed it. I like going on drives, just looking around. But now I don't. Too scared. It doesn't even come in my mind anymore as a thing I would want to do. If I can avoid it, I will.
So you're taking every opportunity to avoid driving. Yeah. So far, getting here today and getting to work, essential functions you've been able to do.
Yeah, it takes me a while to actually. Okay, I have to, and then I just kind of do.
So what do you tell yourself to motivate yourself to get into the car, to come here today, for instance?
Well, it takes me. I have to kind of think about it for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm very nervous. I can't even really think of what I tell myself. It just kind of happens.
And when you get in the car, when you kind of work past that nervousness and get in the car, how do you feel then?
Still pretty scared.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm pretty scared throughout the whole thing. I'm always worried that, if I can go a way that I know that doesn't have any stoplights, I'll try to go that way, even if it takes me an extra half hour.
Oh, that long?
Yeah.
Well, how about now? You've driven here. I presume you're going to drive your own car to wherever you're going next.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
So does that kind of generate those same feelings of nervousness?
Yeah. Yeah, you just reminded me of that, and I was oh no.
You could feel it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is disturbing for you. This is painful for you.
Yeah. It's scary.
but hasn't yet infringed on a crucial area of functioning, like your job or something.
Not yet.
But you're worried it might. All right. So prior to this car accident, how many car accidents have you been in?
Maybe one small little thing, but this is the worst one I've been in.
Mm-hmm. The other one didn't bother you like this one did?
No.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
How long ago was the other one?
Maybe like 4 or 5 years ago.
Were you hurting that?
No.
No.
Mm-mm.
Were you driving?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So something about this one has triggered this nervousness.
Mm-hmm.
The other one didn't.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think's going on?
I don't know. This one, it was different because I was by myself.
Okay.
It was rainy, so maybe that it wasn't the other before, but
So it was raining in the recent accident. Yeah.
yeah. And I was by myself, and then the other one I had somebody with me. So this one maybe, I don't know.
Did the driver that hit you tell you what happened? Like why they?
No, they left pretty quickly afterwards actually, and I was just kind of left to deal with it.
Before the police got there?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. So this really shook you up,
Yeah.
and your worries can interfere with other areas.
Yeah.
And what you're thinking is that you're going to get hurt, you're going to get hit if you get into a car again.
Mm-hmm.
And you're thinking it before you get into the car, and really,
During and even after, it still kind of feels like I don't know. It's even though I'm not in the car anymore, I'm still like I don't know, worried about it.
yeah. And it's really worried about another accident.
Yeah.
So let's look at that. You were wearing your seatbelt?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. And you were driving. It was a little rainy.
Mm-hmm.
Was it day or night?
It was like 5. It was getting ready to be dark, but it wasn't dark yet.
It was dark. So it's still daytime.
Yeah.
All right. So, what you're nervous about driving? I mean, driving does carry risk.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, you know, I can't tell you that there's a way to completely eliminate risk with driving a car. Yes. And you know this.
Yeah.
Having just been in an accident. But there are certainly things you can do to minimize the risks.
Okay.
Right? What do you think some of those things are you could do?
Well, always wearing my seatbelt is pretty good.
Good idea.
Well, I mean, like I said, I try to go ways that don't have stop signs or stoplights, which is hard, but
That's difficult, yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure that would really reduce the risk because you're driving longer.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
So, you know, you'd have to look at that case by case, but
Yeah.
I see your point. What
Yeah.
else?
Oh, I don't know. Drive when there aren't cars around.
What's that?
Drive when there aren't other cars around.
Which, you know, again, probably is a good idea, but it would be hard to practically implement,
Yeah.
right? Because you're driving to work in rush hour and driving home in rush
Yeah.
hour. Okay, so what about driving habits that you can use?
Make sure I don't go too fast or too slow. Make sure that I have space around my car. Make sure all my lights are working, things like that. Make sure I have enough gas so I don't run out of gas or have to stop, something like that.
So follow all applicable traffic laws. Be
Yeah.
aware of your environment,
Mm-hmm.
right? You can do things that will not eliminate, but will reduce the risk of an accident.
Mm-hmm.
Now, you were hit while at a red light, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that one, of course, the seatbelt would be helpful.
Yeah.
But
Have a car that has airbags, maybe.
certainly the safety of your vehicle, right? Yeah. A vehicle that's safer than average would be more ideal.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, I think it's a good idea to be safe, to be aware, to do your best to minimize risk, and at the same time recognize that you can't eliminate it. Right? So there's going to be a point where we have to really work through this nervousness.
Yeah.
It's probably actually, I mean, in a way, you're looking around more,
Yeah.
but ultimately it's probably going to hinder your life.
Probably.
Right?
Yeah.
Because you're restricting where you go and all that.
Yeah.
And eventually, if it gets in the way of getting to work.
Yeah, might lose my job, or my boyfriend wasn't very happy when I said I didn't want to go.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yes, you don't want to interfere anymore.
Yeah.
So what can you tell yourself? We talked about automatic thoughts, right? Like, I'm going to get in an accident. It's really, that's one of the automatic thoughts.
Right.
What are some of the adaptive responses that you could apply when that thought comes in? Right. So the adaptive response is that self-talk, that message that you say to yourself. What can you say to yourself?
Like I'm doing everything I can to make sure that I'm safe.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I might not be able to prevent getting hit, but I can maybe, like, at least maybe I won't get hurt.
Mm-hmm. You can take every precaution.
Yeah. Like it's gonna be okay. Like, I don't know. Like you're safe. You're okay. It's okay. Like, okay, they stopped. Like, just to try to, like, if I see somebody coming behind me and I'm still worried about it. Like, noticing that they did stop and reassuring myself that it's gonna be okay. Yeah, it's hard because it's still,
Yeah, it's
fresh.
Yeah, the thoughts are strong, and
Yeah.
and you believe them, and you believe that you're going to get hurt. Like,
Yeah.
it's very real to you. And still, there's always that possibility. So, as I mentioned, you can't
Right.
eliminate the risk.
Right.
So maybe one way to look at this is that you've only been in one other accident. Right? How many trips have you taken in your life in a car?
Like a lot. Like, I don't know, too many to count.
So the accidents are low probability events.
Yeah.
Scary, certainly. Definitely not fun.
Yeah.
But they haven't happened too often considering the number of trips you've taken.
That's true.
Right. So another thing you could do is, another adaptive response would be that I'm about to drive a car and there is an element of risk, but statistically,
I probably won't get in an accident compared to all the other times I've driven and not been in an accident.
you probably won't. Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
And you can reduce the risk by
Being careful.
Yeah.
And, yeah.
So there's a part that you can, of this anxiety, I guess, that you can satisfy.
Yeah.
Meaning you could say, well, I can really reduce the risks, and I know my chances are low in any particular one drive. But there's another part of this you kind of have to accept, which is you could be in an accident.
Yeah.
Right? And that's not what you want, and you'll do your best to avoid it,
Yeah.
but that could still happen. Do you feel like, because I know this is all very fresh, with the accident being recent, do you feel like you can apply those adaptive responses when you identify that automatic thought coming in?
I can try. I can think of the times where they've come into my head and like, oh no, and then when I realize I'm getting ready to think that, I'll be like, you know what, actually it's gonna be okay, and I can try.
Okay. So I'd like to give you some homework
Okay.
around this anxiety. We talked about the thought record, which is like where you fill out the automatic thought
Mhm.
and how much it distresses you.
Right.
In this case, it might be good to note what it's preventing you from doing,
Okay.
because your thought's actually stopping you from
Yeah, going anywhere.
part of the functioning.
Yeah.
And then you also put the adaptive response that you applied, like what you're able to say to yourself,
Okay.
and then how you felt after that.
Okay.
So what we hope is by repeatedly using the thought record and applying the adaptive response that we'll see improvement. Like, it's a way of measuring it's therapeutic, but it's also a way of measuring how well you're doing with it.
Sure.
All right. So that's kind of, there's the attacking that automatic thought, disputing that automatic thought piece to this. And then there's kind of the acceptance piece of it.
Yeah.
Right? So there's that low but definite probability of an accident. You have to kind of accept that.
Yeah.
Right? At some level, you have to be okay with that. And then the rest of it, would be acknowledging that the probability is low, and that's good, and that you're likely not to get into an accident.
Yeah.
Do you feel like you can complete a few thought records between now and
Yeah.
the next session?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, so let's do that. If you feel like that's something you can
Mhm.
be all right with,
Yeah.
let's meet again in a week.
Okay.
And if you can have, say, 2 thought records,
Okay.
so that's 2 times when the thought came up, and then you've seen the thought record,
Mhm.
you fill in each column. And then we'll review that, and we'll see, over the next few weeks, if we can decrease these symptoms of nervousness and worry.
Yeah, that'd be good.
That'd be all right?
Yes.
All right. Thanks, Rebecca, and I'll see you in a week.
Okay.